Yes, absolutely, you definitely should. But which version?
Long ago, in 2004, Scott Pilgrim is a bass-playing, bus-riding, video game-obsessed slacker who decides it's a good idea to cheat on his fake high school girlfriend with the woman he met in his dreams. Before it's revealed that in order to be with her, he has to defeat her 7 evil exes. It's a tale as old as time, really.
Scott Pilgrim Takes Off has finally arrived, and it is absolutely animated by Science Saru, with original author Bryan Lee O'Malley writing, Edgar Wright producing, and the majority of the cast of the live-action film reprising their roles. Not to mention original music by Anna Managuchi, who made the soundtrack for the video game. It almost seems too good to be true, considering it was produced by Netflix, and taking into account their track record for the treatment of animation. Its video game adaptations have, thankfully, fared better. And yeah, Scott Pilgrim wasn't originally a video game, but the series as a whole is so incredibly intertwined with video games, even more than its original medium of comics. Speaking of, hardcore fans have probably read the books multiple times and can't wait to give them another read, especially after watching the show. But if you've never read the books and want to start but don't know which version to go for, then how lucky you are, because I have every version of the books currently released and have wanted to monologue about the differences between them for years. Just a heads up to keep in mind, this is not a full review of the series itself. This is purely an explanation of said releases and some history about them. Hopefully, this can be a guide to any new readers looking to get into Scott Pilgrim. Let's start in release order. Released in August 2004 and completed in July 2010, this is the original and only paperback version. This is truly the simple and sweet way to experience Scott Pilgrim. Pretty standard cover art of Scott with the title, and Ramona and some story information on the back, and that format stays consistent for the first 3 books. But for the latter 3, you get some nice pixel art instead. They really go for that manga volume aesthetic, like it was trying to trick you into thinking it was a real manga. The whole comic is even in black and white, save for a few early pages in volume 4. The spines are very consistent, so they all look great on a shelf together. It would fit right in with your manga collection or your Western comic collection. Due to their size and paperback format, these are very comfortable to read and easy to carry around in a bag. These are all still relatively available on things like Amazon, although you might have to specify paperback when searching for them. There is a listing for all 6 volumes, but I'm pretty sure that's just the books individually. They used to come in a complete box set, named Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Box Set. The box is a real beauty, featuring amazing pixel art of all the main players and some supporting characters. It also came with a poster. I believe the art and print at the time were exclusive to this box set, though it could probably be easily reproduced if you wanted. And you might have to, because I don't think this box set is available online anymore. The listing on Amazon is blank, only newer versions show up on Walmart, and Target barely has any Scott Pilgrim items at all. Shame on them. Even the actual publisher's website, Oni Press, only has the 2nd and 5th volumes in stock. So if you really want the box set and poster today, you'll have to get it secondhand, which means getting a good priced brand new one nowadays is pretty rare. I have seen some new in the wild, but only in comic book shops, never at any kind of big box retailer. All in all, while this is an undoubtedly great way to experience Scott Pilgrim, I probably wouldn't go out of my way to track down a brand new original box set nowadays. Like I said, individually the volumes are easier to find, and the art on the poster is available online. But you are missing out on the box itself, which really ties it all together. Funny story, actually. Over a decade ago, I originally purchased all the paperbacks separately, and only found out later that there was a box set with a poster included. So I look online to see if they're still available, and back then, Oni Press was selling just the box and poster themselves for like 25 bucks. I didn't waste any time. I ordered one for myself, and that's the one I have now, all these years later. It does hold a special place in my heart because this is where I originally read Scott Pilgrim and fell head over heels for it. But if you want to read Scott Pilgrim nowadays, you have a couple other options. 2 years after the movie was released, and almost 8 years to the day after its initial publication, we have the Scott Pilgrim hardcover color editions. Due to being released after the movie, and colored editions tending to be more popular with general audiences, how am I supposed to read this when I don't know what color the sky is? These are probably the way the majority of people have read Scott Pilgrim. And honestly, they got it good. These editions are fantastic. Starting with the cover, we have some amazing art of Scott and the title, of course. And on the back, we have art from the book itself, taken from the fight with Matthew Patel, along with 6 mystery slots under him. And these are filled in later on as they meet a new Evil X in each volume. These aren't just colored in editions with fancy new covers. They are also quite a bit larger than the original releases. It really allows the new colors to pop and the background details to be more noticeable and appreciated. However, because of this and the new hardcover format of the books, they become a bit of a pain to carry around. Not awful, but certainly less travel friendly than the original release. These books have pretty much supplanted themselves as the go-to way to read Scott Pilgrim. Not just in terms of quality, but availability as well. They are always readily available in both real-life shops and online stores. At least as of now. I predict at some point in the future they might re-release these versions, with new cover art probably from the new series, and a big dumb blurb in the corner saying it's now a Netflix original series or whatever. I hope this isn't the case, because as I said, these books are great as they are, and a no-brainer for people looking to get into the series. But let's say you want to be different, maybe something a little more unique, something darker, something evil. Well then, may I recommend the Evil X versions of the hardcover color editions. These are pretty much the same books, save for different covers, now featuring each Evil X that Scott fights in that volume. And on the back, instead of story info, we get an unobstructed look at the main cover art for each normal volume, which is a nice touch. You're not going to find these on Amazon or even your local comic shop. These are found exclusively at OniPress.com. And while you're there, check out some of the other great Scott Pilgrim stuff they have in stock, like puzzles and art prints. I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can check it out for yourselves. And with those two down, we have finally come to the latest re-release of Scott Pilgrim, which also happens to be my least favorite. Released in 2019, to coincide with the 15th anniversary of the franchise, we have Scott Pilgrim, the Complete Color Collection. The name's a bit of a mouthful, but I guess it is accurate. Maybe my least favorite is a bit much. In actuality, I hate this version. Now this comes from a pure collection and aesthetic mindset. With some exceptions that we will get to, these are, for all intents and purposes, the same thing as the first color editions, except now they're squished into 3 books instead of 6. Concerning the art on the cover, at least of Scott, it's bad. I don't know why the final approved art is the way that it is, but this is just some wonky looking art of Scott. The art on the first 2 books is fine. Weird that Envy is in front of Scott, but I guess that is a very Envy thing to do. But on the third one, why does Ramona look like she doesn't want to be here? She looks like she regrets every decision that led up to this moment. And Scott, the guy, you must have been single for a long time, because check out that left arm compared to the right one. He must keep that arm busy. And why does Scott have the same dopey smile in all 3 books? It makes it seem like he hasn't grown throughout the series, or like he's benevolent to everything around him. Which is to say, nothing, because the background is just pure white. Good luck keeping these things clean in the long run, or while you're moving them around on a shelf. These books aren't technically hardcover, but they are a good bit more sturdy than the regular paperbacks. But this design has a faux book jacket feel, especially around the spine. Be careful when you move it around. If it gets snagged on something, it feels like it'll be pretty easy to rip. And who would want to ruin this art on the front and back? On the original paperback, the cover art was simple but stylistically simple. They were all wearing outfits they wore in that volume, and they had a neat little effect behind them. Volume 5's background shine being around Ramona's head even references a part of the books that's explained in that volume. And on the hardcovers, the character art was the background, with the foreground being the title of the book. It was eye-grabbing and exciting. These new covers remind me of those young adult DC graphic novels. And the box the collection comes in? Oh my god. Okay, a general rule I have for myself. When considering buying a box set, the spine of a good box set doesn't have to have a nice bit of art or anything fancy, but it's nice when it does, since that's the way you're gonna be seeing the box most of the time. This box just has a blurb promoting the box set I already have on my shelf, because I already bought it with money. The top of the box has the name of the collection. Just slap that on the spine horizontally and leave the top blank. On the sides of the box is the Honest Ed's logo, now changed to say Scott Pilgrim. So if you buy 2 for some reason, you can make it a full sign, I guess. Now, as I was saying before, these are basically the same versions, with no censoring or removing of story content, so that's good at least. And if you flip to the back of the books, we have, oh look, an ad for the original color versions. Even the book itself knows that the old versions are better. I didn't mention this before, so I could be mad about it now, but the colored editions came with a decent amount of developmental sketches and notes by Bryan Lee O'Malley. But because these new versions squeezed 2 volumes into one, I guess they couldn't fit in the extras from both volumes and just left them out. In case you couldn't tell, I really don't like these versions of the books. The art on the cover is odd. They have the same heft and girth as the hardcover editions, with less secure feeling covers like the paperback releases. Having 2 volumes in one sounds nice, but when that requires the extras from both versions to be taken out, then these books are quite literally less than the sum of their parts. And the box sucks too. Maybe the reason it turned out like this is because it's the first piece of Scott Pilgrim media that didn't release in the month of August. You'll notice I haven't really talked about prices at all, because if you buy them on somewhere like Amazon, they're usually below the original MSRP, especially the newest version. But if you haven't sold your soul for next day delivery like I have, and for the sake of rounding things off, let's compare. The paperback releases were all priced at $11.99 and the box set was $72. So back when it was readily available in new condition, you were basically getting the box and poster for free. The original hardcover editions all cost $24.99. These weren't ever packaged together, so buying them all would set you back $150. And the Evil X editions, which are the same but with different covers, all cost $40. And collecting them all would set you back $240. Maybe only buy these if you're a Scott Pilgrim mega dork. Like me. The color collection books cost $29.99 each, and the box set costs $90. So you're getting an ugly box for free. So to wrap it all up, if you want to experience Scott Pilgrim the original and first way many people did, along with a nice box to display them in, and you don't mind having to do a bit of hunting to get it, I'd say go for the paperback collection. If you prefer full color comics, and want something you can buy at your own pace, or you want to go to a store and pick something up right this instant, I'd recommend the colored hardcover editions. The normal ones, not the Evil X versions. Do you want less content? Do you want heavier books to carry around? Do you want worse art on the covers? If you answered yes to all 3, then get the complete color collection, I guess. That's it for today's video. I'll be back whenever I feel like it. And remember to click that subscribe button, or else you'll be cringe. Like me. Don't put this in your cringe compilation.